Om Namo Narayana, welcome back. We are in chapter 25, The Glories of Devotional Service, picking up with verse 26. Thus, consciously engaged in devotional service in the association of devotees, a person gains distaste for sense gratification, both in the world and the next, by constantly thinking about the activities of the Lord. This process of Krishna consciousness is the easiest process of mystic power. When one is actually situated on that path of devotional service, he is able to control the mind. Thus, by not engaging in the service of the modes of material nature, but by developing Krishna consciousness, knowledge and renunciation, and by practicing yoga, in which the mind is always fixed in devotional service unto the Lord, one achieves my association in this very life, for I am the Supreme Personality, the Absolute Truth. On hearing the statement of the Lord, Devahuti inquired, "What kind of devotional service is worth developing and practicing to help me easily and immediately attain the service of your lotus feet?" The mystic yoga system, as you have explained, aims at the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is meant for completely ending material existence. Please let me know the nature of the yoga system. How many ways are there by which one can understand in truth that sublime yoga? My dear son, Kapila Muni, after all, I am a woman. It is very difficult for me to understand the absolute truth, because my intelligence is not very great. But if you will kindly explain it to me, even though I am not intelligent, I can understand it, and thereby feel transcendental happiness. Sri Maitreya narrated, after hearing the statement of his mother, Kapila Muni could not understand her purpose, and he became compassionate towards her because of her being born of her body. He described the Sankhya system of philosophy, which is a combination of devotional service and mystic realization, as realized and received by disciplic succession. He said, the senses are symbolic representations of the demigods, and their natural inclination is to work under the direction of the Vedic injunctions. As the senses are representatives of the demigods, so the mind is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The mind's natural duty is to serve. When that service spirit is engaged in devotional service to Lord Vishnu without any motive, that is far better than even salvation. Bhakti, devotional service, dissolves the subtle body of the living entity without separate effort, just as fire in the stomach digests all that we have eaten. A pure devotee who is attached to the activities of devotional service and who always engages in the service of my lotus feet never desires to become one with me. Such a devotee who is unflinchingly engaged always glorifies my pastimes and activities. Mother, my devotees always see the smiling face of my form, with eyes like the rising morning sun. They like to see my various transcendental forms, which are all benevolent, and they also talk favorably with me. Upon seeing the charming forms of the Lord, smiling and attractive, and hearing his very pleasing words, the pure devotee almost loses all other consciousness. His senses are freed from all other engagements, and he becomes absorbed in devotional service. Thus, in spite of his unwillingness, he attains liberation without separate endeavor. Thus, because he is completely absorbed in thought and me, the devotee does not desire even the highest benediction obtainable in the upper planetary systems, including Satyaloka. He does not desire the 8 material perfections obtained from mystic yoga, nor does he desire to be elevated to the kingdom of God. Yet even without desiring them, the devotee enjoys even in this life all the offered benedictions. Mother, devotees who receive such transcendental opulences are never bereft of them. Neither weapons nor the change of time can destroy such opulences. Because the devotees accept me as their friend, their relative, son, preceptor, benefactor, and supreme deity, they cannot be deprived of their possessions at any time. Thus the devotee who worships me, the all-pervading Lord of the universe, in unflinching devotional service, gives up all aspirations to be promoted in heavenly planets, or to become happy in this world, with wealth, children, cattle, home, or anything in relationship with the body. I take him to the other side of birth and death. The terrible fear of birth and death can never be forsaken by anyone who resorts to any shelter other than myself, for I am the Almighty Lord, the original source of creation, and also the supreme soul of all souls. It is because of my supremacy that the wind blows out of fear of me, the sun shines out of fear of me, and the Lord of the clouds, Indra, sends forth showers out of fear of me. Fires burn out of fear of me, and death goes about taking its toll out of fear of me. The yogis, equipped with transcendental knowledge and renunciation, and engaged in devotional service for their eternal benefit, take shelter of my lotus feet, and since I am the Lord, they are thus eligible to enter into the kingdom of Godhead without fear. Therefore, persons whose minds are fixed on the Lord engage in the intensive practice of devotional service. That is the only means for attainment and the final perfection of life. Thus ends this chapter. A couple thoughts. I used to follow this guru who literally, his writings today, well, before he died, were all me, 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 worship me, I am this, look at me, I am you, look at the things I'm doing, I'm the supreme this, I'm the supreme that, he literally declared himself like, his whole writings were literally just one narcissistic rant. And I see this with other gurus. Well, I am this, and I am that, and I am this, just like I just read. Literally almost verbatim. And it always bothered me after a while. I'm like, yeah, no, this just is whacked, because it doesn't make any sense how after 10,000 years, you're the only one who's like this. Here we have, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, somebody saying that, Kapila Muni, but he's not the only one, and he doesn't pretend to be. I'm the only one who is the Alpha and the Omega, the Lord and the Lord of Lords. He doesn't say that. He never says that. He's one of many. He's one of a timeline. And this is a message from the Lord, this book. These modern gurus, they have no foundation. If you ask them, well, where do you base this out of, this revelation, they'll say, oh, well, I was sitting in a temple and had a revelation. Or I just feel it, or I just know it. There's no authenticity to it. There's no tradition, there's no nothing. And they often, 90% of the time, may have one or two teachers, but they're always better than everybody ever. It's just like, oh my gosh. But I just thought of that while reading this. There's two other things I wanted to mention. Well, one, I thought it was really interesting that this whole bit is basically saying, if you are devoted to the Lord, nothing else matters. All these mystic powers you can obtain, or planets, none of them compare to being in with the Lord. That's what this says. So if you want mystic powers, good, but you will not have achieved the highest thing. I think that's super important. And there was something here that I just really, really like. Oh, this was like verse 26. This process of Krishna consciousness is the easiest process of mystic power. When one is actually situated on that path of devotional service, he is able to control the mind. I know so many people, oh my God, so many people who are like, I'm developing mystic powers, and I can shoot Reiki out of my fingers, and I can look through time, and I can convene with angels. But if you dig into their life and you dig into them, they're not situated in any place. They're certainly not situated in Krishna conscious, but they're just like, oh yeah, I go about my business and I do whatever, and I have a yoga class, and then at some point when I feel like it, I have some mystical power that just developed, whatever. And it always makes me feel uncomfortable. Yet it clearly says right here, these things, if you can control a mind, you're situated in a position. Essentially, to be able to control the mind, you have to be situated in a certain position. You have to be situated in a holy place. It's not just whenever you feel like it. And powers don't just suddenly manifest out of nowhere. Or, oh, I bought a tarot deck, I'm now somebody. No, it's not like that. This says it right here. You have to be established in the Lord. And if mystical powers are what you crave, well, yeah, that's okay, but there's better things. And you notice these teachers out there, they talk about, well, you can do this and you can do this, but they really never talk about being established in the Lord. It's like, no, take my class and I'll teach you this and I'll teach you that, and you can read auras, but they never talk about being established in the Lord, because they're not. I'm sorry, I just don't think they are. I think very few are. One more thing here I wanted to say, something I did not like about this text. It's a complaint, and that is how women are treated by the Srimad Bhagavatam. Horribly. And actually how women are treated by Hinduism traditionally. She says, it is very difficult for me to understand the absolute truth because my intelligence is not great. I am a woman. Yet that's bullshit. I'm just going to say, I know women who are super smarter than me. I know women who are super smarter than a lot of people. This is garbage. Anyone who thinks that women aren't smart is living under a rock. I don't believe that men and women are equal. Our bodies are different. Our minds are different. The way we act, our emotions, we're different creatures of the same creature. But when it comes to mental capability, men aren't necessarily smarter than women, and women aren't dumb. And old cultures said that a lot, and I don't like it. It's just not good. I think I encountered this when I was reading the Kama Sutra. It's just something I very much disagree with, because men might be good in some things, and women might be good in other things, and intelligence, there's no competition. Some women are smart, some men are smart, some women are actually not that smart, some men are not that smart. This is not a gender thing, this is a human thing. Some people do not want to develop their brain. They really don't want to develop their brain. They like being dumb. I swear. They have no intention to learn. And it drives me up the wall, drives me bonkers. But to simply say, well, I'm a woman and I'm not smart, no, that's bullshit. Anyone can be smart. You can do it. You can try. Anyways, I could go on and on about that. And anyone who reads this from here, and I'm recording this in 2022, probably agrees with me that women aren't necessarily dumb, they're not less than, they're just different. That's it. They're just different. Much like an apple and an orange is different, but which is the better fruit? Neither, really. They both offer us amazing health benefits. We should have both of them. But neither is better. And I don't like this. But anyways, the rest of the chapter is really good that I read. So thoughts, comments, all that stuff below. Feel free to pick up conversation on anything I've mentioned. And thank you as always for watching. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.